And we've been working really hard to bring you this new format. The guys in production have been putting it together for some time now, and we can finally roll it out. And I'm excited because now we could stream on multiple platforms without any issues, and we can bring you the information that you want to hear. So let's move on.
Get it going on there,
We're
Mike.
talking about the Matrix today. We're talking about 1, 2, and 3. And we want to get into that deep dive. You know, there's a bunch of things going on in there.
It's a bunch of Easter eggs, for sure.
So it's influenced by anime, Ghost in the Shell, pretty much, where AI develops itself to farm humans, to power the robots since the time of the Great War that destroyed humanity. Kind of sounds similar to a bunch of other stories that we've heard in the past.
There's a bunch of, dark dystopian stories of the future, stuff like this. But basically what you were saying, Ghost in the Shell, this basically, Matrix is mixed with the Ghost in the Shell mixed with the book Pisces Sophia. So if you guys go read that, that's literally the Matrix. They talk about shells popping in and out of different shells, the spirit moving in and out, and how you can do that, and how this is all...
shell is what?
Flesh.
Meat suits.
Meat suits, man. We've talked about that before. Yeah, the meat suits. So jumping in and out of that, it's the same thing as them plugging into the Matrix. Basically, in Pisces Sophia, the Gnostic version, is that this world is fake. And this world is made by the adversary. And our job is to make it through the flesh, to make it through, to be positive, and to make it through the other side, to get out of this, because we're locked in it. Our spirit descended into matter and then got surrounded by matter and then stayed.
To open our eyes.
Well, to have the spirit return back to the spirit world.
Right.
Which we're in the meat suit, and the meat suit is preventing us from doing that.
Correct. So with any program, you have a program writer, you have architects. So technically in the movie, you have the architect and the oracle, the father and the mother of the Matrix. You can't have one without the other.
No. And then then you have the son, right? Holy Father, Holy Mother.
Correct. So we're talking about the real Trinity.
Correct.
Okay. So with father and mother, the architect is one way, more masculine,
right side,
very rational,
doesn't
just wants facts, and the mother is more emotional,
right,
and
left side
has a lot of hope,
the brain,
femininity. Obviously she's a woman.
They're the dueling aspects.
Correct. So with that, did you have any questions on the oracle or the architect and their roles?
Me personally?
Yeah.
No, because it's just, she is who she is. Like, what's really crazy is, you even have the layout of her being abandoned, like her being pushed away from the Matrix, and she's within the Matrix and hidden within the Matrix and moves within the Matrix, but she's wanted and she can't be with the architect. So this is the perfect symbolism of the Holy Father, Holy Ghost now, because the Holy Mother's not there no more. So she's a ghost. And then you have the Son. So this is what the church, the Catholic Church, puts out there. This is what they're symbolizing inside the movie.
So the Son is searching for the mother?
Well, he is, right?
Right.
Well, the mother's nurturing him while the father's away, and still telling him you have to follow all these rules and all this and that, And until, what's kind of crazy too, when you talk about the father and the mother, even when he confronts his father, it's like a son who is now a man confronting his father, maybe for the first time, like, I'm not a boy no more. So we see this.
Don't tell me those stories.
Right.
Like,
we see this throughout the movie continuously.
So moving on, if we're looking at coding, right? Programs are based in code. and the code in any program could go off the rails sometimes. So in this instance, there was a code for choice, right? And that choice was what created the anomaly, Neo, the one.
Correct.
Now, when we're looking at that code, we kind of relate it to Christianity in a way where you had humanity being one way, and then here comes
Free choice.
Here comes a guy who is thinking completely different.
Correct.
Right? And he's on a different level of consciousness where he's operating in a way where it's servicing the whole, not just a certain group. It isn't just, the Jewish folks. It's everyone. And that's who he wants to be with.
Right.
Now, in the movie, it's a little different. You see Neo coming in as a neophyte following the White Rabbit.
Although I would propose Neo is almost like Adam in the aspect that he's been created and he's following this path that he doesn't understand, doesn't know, and yet one day he wakes up.
Well, he kind of always does know because he already knows
suspects,
Morpheus, right? He knows there's something up, and there's Morpheus out there, right? Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff out there.
But think about Adam. Think about Adam. It was the same type of thing from the biblical stories that we understand, that Adam was just following this structure, was following the program. And yet there was something in him that had this spark. And whether that was his divine feminine, whether it be Eve that was giving him that, what if we did this? What if we actually tried to expand our consciousness? What if? And once Adam did, he was a different person. He was cast out.
In this aspect, Neo is the Messiah. That's what he is.
Understand.
But the Messiah is the lineage of Adam. So he is Adam. He is Adam reborn 1,000 times.
Till he finally gets it. Till he finally reaches
right.
that
So
Christ
we talked about that choice, right?
Right.
And you said that variable. So that variable that Neo does when you see towards the end of the movie where he sees all his old self and all the variables, it's that formula trying to write itself and trying different formulas over and over and over and over until one works. And that's what they're displaying on there. So they're displaying different avenues and paths that this Messiah took and failed or lived through to become more experienced. Maybe he lived through all that and they restarted it because they always say, we've done this before.
Somebody was asking, I believe it's titles are lame. How can you feel the Matrix?
How can you feel the Matrix?
Technically, we're kind of in it, right?
I'm going to give this answer to you. Titles are lame. I'm going to give you a very direct question. Have you ever tasted something that tasted like chicken? Why does everything taste like chicken? They even bring this up in the movie. Really good question, Titles are lame. So, there's that common denominator, or like, hey, have you ever seen somebody like you're walking through the mall and you're like, oh my God, that's my uncle. And then you walk up, you're like, whoa, that's not my uncle. I got to take a picture of this guy and I want to show my uncle because this guy looks just like him. Or you see somebody, you're like, oh, you're a cookie cutter. That term, the joke is God ran out of molds for people, so started reusing molds. So you start seeing patterns within life, the deja vus and patterns and stuff like that give credence to this matrix theory. Good question. Neo is a palindrome for one, not a palindrome of.
Do we know what a palindrome is?
Neo is the Messiah in the whole thing.
Palindrome.
Okay, so that's what that is.
He's
sorry.
No, but
forgive my ignorance.
Palindrome is.
I'm gonna let you.
Hey, production crew, can you pull up the
Let's give
definition?
a very specific definition of palindrome.
Get us the definition.
Because I don't want to waver on that and I don't want to be too ambiguous.
Yes, sir. Give us a second. We'll have that up for you right now.
Cool.
Ruby.
So this is part of our new stuff that we can do for you guys.
We're able to interact with you.
We can interact with you guys in the moment.
While we're getting that going, we also had a comment from YouTube. It looks like the next issue of Fraternal Review that they're actually going to be doing it on a little thing on the Matrix themselves.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Really? How funny. Maybe we should get those guys in here or something. I don't know.
I think we should. And maybe
We
SoCal
should.
Research Lodge, you guys need to join
SoCal.
us
Shout out.
and come through again and be on our show and let's talk.
So we know those guys.
Palindrome, a
from
word,
SoCal.
phrase, or sequence that reads the same backwards and forwards. Got it. Neo.
So almost in that aspect, if you're asking that, almost the architect, what's her name? Seer, right? The female aspect, and Neo,
Oracle.
the Oracle.
Oracle.
Yeah, they are all palindromes, really, because they are the constant that it is in the matrix. Without them, there can't be nothing. So they are the mainframe, basically. So they're always there, and you should be able to read them backwards and forwards because they shouldn't have a beginning or an end. So all those are on a loop. So yes,
Actually, he said anagram. There we go. Yes.
an anagram. Yes, I like
Anagram,
that.
not
Anagrams,
palindrome.
pentagrams, hexagrams. I like all the grams.
So in the Matrix, we noticed that the architect said there were 6 different versions that
Correct.
had to be destroyed and start rebooted. That's to say, we have to create this world and then it just destroys itself. But with that, we had programs starting to hack other programs that no longer stay true to the services. So now you
Right.
have these rogue programs just going off on
So
their own.
really quick, you can break that down with the beginning and restarting. You have in a lot of the books, the Lost Books of Eden. You guys can check out Pseudographa, not Apocrypha really. It's more Pseudographa, creation myths, where you have God creating a choir of angels, listening to them, finding that they're out of tune, and then he destroys them, and then with their matter, he creates them again. And he does this numerous times until they sing in pitch.
And we see it over and over and over again from all the way into the ancient sun worshippers of the death and recreation.
Yeah,
there's
death and
destruction,
recreation,
there's
the big
destruction
spiral,
of the
stuff like
world,
that.
and there's the
Ragnarok.
Kali.
All that, yeah. Kali Yuga age, all that good stuff. There's stuff like that goes over and over and over like that. Then we're talking about the programs hacking other programs. This would be the fallen angels, and the angels now giving more information or using or taking or imprisoning other angels to do other deeds.
Or demons.
That's what
or yeah.
fallen angels or demons.
sorry.
Correct, yeah. So fallen angels or their offspring. Lilith.
So,
Or whatever you have.
if we're looking at it from that perspective, we're looking at Agent Smith and his whole crew. They're technically the fallen. And he actually goes even further because now he's upgraded himself to
Well,
be
he didn't do it himself. It was Neo.
correct.
Neo did
right.
it.
They
He
merged.
tells him, I need to thank you, Neo. He says that. I think they're on with the
He kind
Oracle.
of hacked himself. He hacked him. To
Well, he says
defeat
he doesn't
him,
know what happened,
but then
he likes it.
came back with a piece of Neo in him.
He's
which
part Neo.
Gave
Right.
him
It was from the end of the first Matrix when Neo jumps through Agent Smith to defeat Agent
Correct.
Smith.
Yeah.
That's how he gets the
Correct. That's
that
how he
piece
gets
of
that,
Neo left
which is
over.
really cool. So if you guys know anything about this, kind of transcends over a lot of religions, from Christianity to traditional witchcraft to Luciferianism to just Jesus Christ himself, where you have the dual aspect. We have Lucifer and you have Jesus. Many people know I want to say a prophet, but an artist and poet, William Blake. There's a famous painting of God and his two sons, which is Lucifer and Jesus. So Lucifer would be the fall and Jesus would be the rise. And this would now continue over and over and over in that cycle.
Would that be polarity? Would that be
It's not
Jockin
only
and
just
Boaz, the black and the white?
Right. There's all this that keeps continuing. But, when you have this aspect, they're supposed to be twins. So here you have Neo and Agent Smith, who, when they battle, they never win. It's almost always a stalemate. Somebody has to run, or something has to intervene for them to stop. So you have an immovable object, and then you have an immovable and a movable, right? That doesn't stop, and one that won't stop, and one that can't stop.
Speaking of programs, there's one that stood out to me the most, and that was the Merovingian,
Yes.
who was the original program, but didn't work out and became an exile. He saved a bunch of old programs for himself to work for him.
Right.
Those two ghosts, the twins.
There's a bunch.
There's a bunch of programs that
that's
he
just
saved
a huge Easter
that
basket.
They're pretty much viruses. That's what he.
They're
That's what he
viruses.
saved.
What's really cool too is when they go into their ghost form or go through walls, they're going through firewalls.
But ding.
Right. It's super cool. The other thing that lays credence to a whole lot of this ideology is, who is he supposed to be?
Correct. So his girl, Monica Bellucci,
Right. Beautiful, stunning.
Persephone.
Persephone. Correct.
Persephone.
Persephone. So Persephone, we all know. Well, if you guys don't know,
Is he Hades?
he has to be Hades. And to lay credence to this, or to lay some factual stuff behind it, where did Hades rule?
Hell.
In hell. So he says that I created all this first. I was here first. I'm the original program. I create all this to hold what? To hold human beings within this creation. And he was the ruler of it. He didn't create everything because it was the archetype, but he was there to run it. So this goes back to the Gnostics saying that we are here. The adversary rules this whole world, and God is trying to get us back. So here we're in the adversaries or Hades construction, and we're in physical matter, and we don't know that we're supposed to be somewhere else.
In the spirit world.
That makes
Right.
sense, but the name is what throws me off, because now we're talking about Merovingian. Now,
So that's
from
a
what I
whole nother.
understand,
That's a whole nother.
that is the bloodline of Jesus.
Or
Or
it was also the container or the people who were charged with protecting the bloodline. So there's a theory out there that they were probably also the bloodline. It's really funny, the Franks, but I don't think they'll talk about the
won't talk
Jesus.
about that
No,
there.
they won't talk about it. But what ends up happening is, just like Priority Sign or something like that, when you have a name, when you living with a community, you're going to blend stories together. It's supposed to be, see, here it goes, persistent to the present time. So,
Yeah, I think that's a theory
It
though.
is a
When you
theory.
talk
It's
about
no
the
way, but-
Merovingian with Jesus, I think if you guys
That's Holy
look
Blood,
up
Holy Grail theory.
Merovingian,
Correct.
just
But
look up the definition
They brought that
of
name in here
Merovingian.
for a reason.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, for sure. I was going to say,
Yeah,
what's the definition of the name? I believe it's bear. It means bear. Merovingian means bear.
Merovingian.
Yeah, Merovingian.
Yeah, look up the definition.
Look at the
of
definition. It
Merovingian.
means
There you
bear.
go.
Their crescent has a bear on it. It's like the
So
There you go.
so the names throws me off if it's
and
connected
Clovis
to
by Clovis and reigning in Gaul.
Hades.
But what is the definition? What's the crescent?
It's French.
No, it was German.
Hold
That's what it said.
on.
It said German.
Hold on. French dynasty.
Frankish.
Means bear, man. Come on, where's that?
It's only connected
We're
to
trying
the,
to find for you
to the
guys
Frank
here.
lines. It's only okay. So are
Yeah,
they
moving
saying
on,
that he's
moving
the
on.
king then? If they referred to him as Merovingian,
Well, the Wachowski brothers really throw you some
title-
curveballs.
I mean,
here,
there's a
man.
lot, when they throw everything else lines up, they throw that in there, and I don't know really where they're going with it. I know
well,
about it, but I don't know how that they're linking that to that,
think about
It would
it.
be
If,
mixed
if,
up.
if you're referring that he is supposed to be that character of the ruler of Hades, it could be a terminology similar to Baal. Baal meaning Lord.
Right.
Merovingian.
So like
they
El,
could just be
El.
referring to him as
El is
king,
the, right.
the king of.
But we definitely know that he opposes the Oracle. He's on the other side of the Oracle.
Yeah, he doesn't like the Oracle. Really, to be honest, he doesn't like the architect either, because he wanted to live in this world that he created and do what he wanted. He wanted to be the architect.
So he was like Windows 95.
No, he was the ruler put in charge.
Right.
The
He's a
architect-
prince of
the
hell is what it
architect-
is.
The
He was like
architect.
That's why he's so posh and he's eating, and he goes, look at the lady eating
MS-DOS.
the thing,
MS-DOS prompt. That's
Right.
what it was.
It's like he's MS-DOS prompt because it's like, oh, what Windows you want to run? Right. Safety menu. There you go. Right. Pops up.
What do you guys think about the Merovingian?
See, have
Do
you
you
guys
guys have
tried
any-
using? No, give you different results. Okay, cool. There's a secret society based on the preservation of the lineage of the Merovingian Franks. Yes, it's called Prior de Sion.
Prior de Sion. So let's go.
We
to,
will circle back.
Let's talk about Da Vinci Code, because they mentioned that the whole movie is based around
that's
that.
the concept.
right? That's
It's
the
Princess
concept.
Sophia. And then Da Vinci Code is based off the Holy Blood, Holy Grail. Not my opinion. Go check it out, guys. Sorry. I just get my feathers get ruffled when everyone's like Da Vinci Code. Oh my God, Dan Brown, he's so cool. No, he's really not.
Well,
he just took a book and he made it into a action story.
Dan Brown is really good at taking little teeny pieces
Making a
of
story out of
fact
it.
and
Sure.
building a fake story.
Good
behind
movie.
it.
I like
And
the
great-
movie. It was
great
cool.
stories, and the books are great.
Go
I
read
mean,
Holy Blood, Holy Grail. Sorry.
yeah, even I'm against that one, but okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
I think he's another guy that's
They did all the work. All the work there. Okay.
agree,
Holy Blood, Holy
disagree.
Grail. You decide. You decided that.
So
I think maybe
it's Atlas.
Nephilim blood.
Yeah,
I don't know
he's-
where that one came from, but Nephilim blood. Yeah, I drink it every Tuesday. All right.
This guy's
Google only.
crazy. I don't know.
Google only show. Okay, there you go. So, the Matrix, I think the Matrix is really there, and all these Easter eggs are there to make us think, to make us have these conversations. The Wachowski brothers, currently the Wachowski sisters, support you guys. We are in Long Beach, y'all. Pride. So, check this out. Like, their mindset, they want their viewers to learn. If you watch any of their movies, you walk away, you just learned something. If you didn't learn it, you're Googling it. You're like, what the hell are these guys talking
at
about?
least think. At
Yeah,
least
they're
think
making you
about it.
think, So I love their movies, their show. There was also the other show. What was the other show called on Netflix?
Which one?
Oh, man.
Whose show?
No.
Wachowskis.
Are you talking
Wachowski-
about Sense 8?
Sense 8.
Sense8. I haven't seen that.
Weird show,
really
man.
either.
It's worth watching because it's a whole nother type of. They filmed it differently. Like, again, they're groundbreaking. They're showing you new things. It's a new way of looking at a story. I've never seen anything like it, and it was good.
Well, they for sure do that. I mean, let's talk about that. That slow motion aspect of
They were the first to do
Matrix.
that, for
They
sure.
did it first. I mean, there was a long line of people that started doing it after them.
Right.
Slow mo stuff.
He goes, I think maybe Nephilim blood, the Merovingian. Mike asked.
That could make some sense to me. I mean,
Well, technically, if you really want to think about it, you do have like Adam. Adam was different than other humans.
Well,
probably
and
something else,
And here's the thing. Even with the Christ lineage, you talk about all of them trying to have a bloodline connection to kinghood, to an ancient kinghood
to godhood, really. So
Really,
all the
exactly,
kings, are claiming lineage from
Right.
some descendant
Right.
of a god, or a god that descended.
Yeah,
You got
the-
Hovannes that came out of the ocean. We get Dimitri from the Pope, and you get all
Right.
that. Right. Good
So-
stuff. Good stuff.
so going back to Agent Smith and talking about choice. Now, Agent Smith is no longer within the program. He has his own choice and can do whatever the hell he wants.
Correct.
So if you're looking at Neo from one perspective, he's fighting in the real world, the robots and the people coming in to destroy Zion, right? But in the Matrix,
And
he's
then it's Zion. Let's just point that out.
that's another.
I mean, it's not even hidden. It's Zion.
right.
So in the Matrix, he's now fighting all these antivirus agents, malware, in a different form, because in the physical world, he's limited, right? But in the
Correct.
Matrix, there is no limit. He
No.
can do
It's
whatever
what his
he
mind
wants,
limits him to. Correct.
right? And I think that's where the Oracle was. That's where she placed her bet. And in the beginning, she's playing with him.
She's playing with him.
She's playing with his head.
So we talked a lot about
Testing.
this.
yeah.
Testing him.
Why was that? I think me and Drew, somebody from our production crew, the one and only.
Hold on, playing with him how, Mike? Like you think by telling him that he isn't the chosen one when he first went to see the Oracle?
Correct.
She's like,
Because
"Don't you know?"
She's like, no, you're not it.
Yeah, you're not it.
No, I don't think so.
Eat
But
the cookie, you'll feel better. You won't
Yeah.
remember nothing.
he
the cookie.
came out so sad.
Right,
Like, oh, Keanu,
right,
so
right.
sad.
Womp, womp, womp. Can we get that play? Can we cue that?
I'm
Womp,
not the
womp, womp.
one. Oh my God, what am I gonna do? But the show's still going on. You still have to fight. So that started to grow. And
it's almost like it's that when you're unsure, when you're starting on that battle, when you're starting on your journey, you know, the hero's journey, you start at the point where you think, maybe I'm not the one. Maybe this isn't it. Maybe
We've all been there, right?
That's what
We've
I'm
all
saying.
been there.
So let me read what
go ahead and read
Alchemist
that.
303, because
We will break that down.
That right there.
Right there.
Right. We'll break that down.
Morpheus, god of sleep and dreams, comes to Neo, Christ, through the Trinity. 3 steps to ultimately persuade Neo to shed his avatar, to be reborn and become the one, who had to go through trial and error to become further enlightened as the one. So
we see the aspects already, the 3 steps that's Masonry, it's Freemasonry.
Freemasonry.
Yeah.
But we're talking about Freemasonry and how that you can apply that to so many different paths and stuff like that. So when you go through trials and tribulations, and when you come to the outcome, you're a master, or you are mastering yourself. Just remember, all these analogies are for everybody to find their own path to master themselves.
So let me read this other one. And thank you, Alchemist 303. That was awesome. I dig it. Otis James, it's the overall tone of what you're talking about. The Matrix could be backwards, that it
Different realms and
dimensions that people are trying to break out of the Matrix and into spirituality.
You can overlay this on anything. If we took the Matrix and we made it Buddha, you know, we did all these other things. There's so many different things that you can do that. But what you guys got to remember, like in all these things, I always talk about something called the echo of truth. The echo of truth is really cool because the echo of truth will prove itself time and time again. And this is a theory you guys can go try out for yourself on whatever you guys practice or whatever you guys find. Does this truth self-truth itself? So when you look at it from 18 different angles, will it always be the same answer? You know, when you have this echo of truth throughout religion, throughout the occult, throughout the esoteric communities and stuff like that, it's all about higher learning, higher self, about attaining a different level from where you began. And normally you got to go through trials and tribulations like we're talking about. You got to go through your shadow work. You got to go through your degrees. You got to go through washing dishes. You got to go through all these horrible things, you know, but it makes you a better person, you know, because when you're at home and when no one else is around, okay, this is the real test to see if what you are doing is working. You are reprogramming yourself to be better. So instead of sitting in your underwear watching Netflix with a hand full of Cheeto Puffs and being all, you know, lazy and stuff, I know, I'm sorry, Mike, you can still do it. But, you know, we can do something better. We can be better. Don't get me wrong. I do that. I gave you an exact example of me doing that on my day off or something. But we need to rise up to be something better.
Correct. And I think the whole analogy between Neo and Christ is, if we're looking at it from a Christian perspective, it really doesn't really fall into the same margin, I believe.
Agreed.
I think the more Gnostic Christ is what we're really
it's
talking
100%,
about.
yeah. It's a book called Pistis Sophia. Go read it.
And that the Gnostic side of it is what makes more sense to me. When people talk about Jesus, for me, is like we're talking about 2 different people.
Yeah.
You know,
There's
your
multiple
version and the version that I know is
Look,
2 different
in
versions.
a nutshell, if you guys ever watched American Gods, remember all the Jesus?
Mm-hmm.
There's 1,000 of them, all different colors, races, all different ideologies of what this Jesus would have been like. But just remember, you know, the New Testament was written 70 years after his death.
Yeah, and
You know?
and a good chance that 3 of the 4 gospels were written by the same person, or at least copied
it's the
from
same,
each other.
the styles, the wording, and stuff like that. So there's a lot of stuff that's missing and stuff like that. But if you go back to an older Jesus, back to what he was just preaching, I mean, it's vastly different than what we have now, because, you know, we had our human hands meddle with it.
Because if you look at it from the Catholic perspective, they're teaching you to worship the church and give your money and
correct,
right? But the real version of Jesus wasn't about that. He was teaching you how to find who you really are,
correct,
and how to be better as
master
ascend. Of self, precisely.
How to
Matt
ascend.
Matt Fisklin, thank you, master of self, precisely.
So Alchemist 303, again, people ask me if I believe in Christ. I say, which one? David the Christ?
Right.
Yes, I do. So, I mean,
Yeah,
there's so many ways we can look at it.
The Bible leaves
many.
out all of those years that Christ was doing question mark. I mean, was he becoming
Doing neo
a
things.
Buddhist master? Was he finding himself? Was he learning how to get out of his own head?
Was he in Tibet?
So just a fun fact, there were like 6 other people at the time of Jesus doing the same thing as Jesus. You guys should go read a book called Jesus the Magician. Awesome book.
Little baby Jesus in the manger.
I know.
I like my dude.
I like that one too.
Tuxedo
You know?
shirt
Yeah.
on.
I like to party. Yep. I'm sorry. Let's reel her back in,
Great
back
book,
into the
great book.
Matrix. So, talking about Trinity, female, right?
Okay.
She's that part that gives him his peace.
She's literally love.
No,
No? You don't think so?
oh, that's not the part in the Matrix. Okay, let's get into that.
You mean later she
I
is.
think.
So, do
I
you
think
remember
she-
the area where they're in the subway?
Yeah.
The little girl's love. She's love.
Because, well,
Trinity
but
could
hold
be
on, hold on.
duality.
Hold on. You are correct. The little girl was love, and he was saying, you don't understand. I love this. This is the point where he's realizing that love is the key.
Correct.
And this is when he realized, oh my God, I'm going to have to sacrifice this. This is when he realized, this is when everything started dialing in about Trinity, about what was going to happen. Do you realize when he knew that Trinity was going to go? And when Trinity jumps on board, if you look at his face, he's like, damn, I can't change this because this is what he saw.
So we know in the Matrix, choice.
It was
is
choice.
The main
And he allowed her to
Driving
choose.
factor.
Although he knew she was
Driving
going to die,
factor.
he allowed her to
So,
choose.
Love being this choice, that's what saves the Matrix. It was a gamble that the Oracle took on
Correct.
hoping that Neo would reach this type of Christ consciousness to save the Matrix once and for all.
And I just want to
Or
point.
unconditional love.
Yeah, I just want to point
Unconditional
out
love.
that love makes people act, talk, walk, and think differently.
Well, and here's a strange thing. I mean, English, we have the word love. You look at other languages that have multiple words for love. Like even the Greek, you have phileos, or phileos is brotherly love, and you have eros, which is erotic love, and you have agape, which is godly love or
Right.
unconditional love. So I mean.
So we have some
We
more
got a lot. We got a lot.
raising
banging on.
the serpent
Raising the serpent.
on
So
the staff.
raising the serpent, you can again, at least I can decipher that in like 18 different ways. You know, raising the kundalini. You can be raising the spirit itself. Intelligence. I mean, it's so many different things. And the serpent on the staff goes back forever. Like it wasn't just Moses. And normally you have a representation of a tau, which is a T shape. Looks like the cross, but the cross is literally at the top like this. A T, a tau.
An actual,
And then-
the cross that Christ was more than likely crucified on.
And it has a serpent wrapping around it. And, you know, some of the most ancient civilizations or ancient secret societies will have this on there because it is a symbol of knowing or being awake. I don't like to use that term, but, you know, everybody will know what that means.
So let's explore this. Just
Serpent
out of-
Man, we did that in the last episode.
Let's explore this out of curiosity. If we think of Neo from the aspect of Christ, and if you want to talk about the esoteric concept that Christ is our pineal gland, our third eye, and that he was crucified at Golgotha, the place of the
Right,
skull,
place of skulls.
and the two thieves were crucified next to him, which would be the opposite sides of our brain. I mean, here's another perspective aspect of Neo being the Christ within
Right.
us needing to find
Right.
that open our third
So
eye
to,
type
to
of
break that down real quick, exactly what you said, you have Jesus there, which is the spirit, and you have the left and right brain, and they're on the Mount of Skulls. So the Mount of Skulls was literally a mound of dead flesh. So in that whole scene, you have the separation between spirit and matter. And that's what they're trying to symbolize in there as an esoteric teaching. So we have exoteric, as a teaching for the masses. And that's what you guys see. That's what you see Jesus up on the cross, the two thieves, the Golgotha, the symbolism. But the esoteric meaning, if some teacher was there and whispered in your ear what you're physically looking at, that would be spirit and matter now separating. And all the whole that made him as a human being is now coming apart. And now he's rising up. And that's what Jesus did, right? He supposedly went up and then he came back and was rose 3 days later. So that he finished the not the spiral, the loop from descending to ascension. There you go. Perfect.
So another part where I'm going to agree with you, Alchemet 303, Neo sacrifices himself to save the Matrix. So he's stating that Neo also sacrifices himself to end the war and free all people. Mm-hmm. Similar Christ story with dying for the sins of mankind, which if you have watched the Animatrix, it goes into the backstory on how humanity created, abandoned, and then declared war on the cybernetic progeny. And if you haven't watched the Animatrix, you really need to watch it.
It's great.
It gives you the whole rundown of what happened before. And there's a bunch of other little stories that kind of correlate, but it just opens it up for you. Thank you again.
For our viewers out there that have HBO Max, you can watch the Animatrix on HBO Max with your subscription.
Yeah, you're welcome, Drew.
There you go.
We're not getting paid by HBO. Just
Not getting paid.
Just giving you free information because that's what we do. So in general, love is what saves the Matrix, is what saves Trinity at the end. Mm-hmm. He loved them so much that he gave himself to save them. And in doing so, he rebuilt it the way it should have been.
Correct.
Saved Zion.
Which is kind of weird because for computers, they couldn't see that outcome. They couldn't see like we should just do this and have them be.
It wasn't a programmed variable.
Volunteer, batteries instead. We can work together now, I mean, but you would have thought that a genius computer.
If you think about AI, right?
That's
if you
where
think about AI now.
That's what I'm saying. The AI couldn't think about that.
No, anytime you ask AI what's going to happen with humanity, they say, well, we're going to fucking destroy it.
You're dumb.
Because you guys are destroying it faster than what we would.
Mm-hmm.
So AI already knows that.
And it's already figuring stuff out quicker, and the algorithms through AI are definitely.
We're getting close, guys.
Yes, we're getting close. I mean, the AI is already out there. We already have.
Correct.
Virtual reality.
Cars, all kind of stuff.
Things that are going to be running on their own. And
Tesla.
All we're waiting for is the Terminator.
Right. You know what?
Now I want the brain.
I really believe that Elon Musk is ready and waiting.
Oh, he knows.
I guarantee you he's got some mech suit that's going to come out. Have you guys seen just a tidbit? Elon Musk's flamethrowers for zombies?
Yeah, I've seen
Check it out. You think I'm lying.
It's not a flamethrower.
It's a flamethrower, dude.
It's
a mini one.
Listen to his.
Sure.
It
shoots out flames. It looks like a super soaker that shoots out flames. It's cool. I don't know. I want one. I don't know why.
What are you going to call it?
No, it's
Fire lobber?
God damn it! Shut up so I can talk to you. It's a torch for roofing. It's a roofing torch. That's what his flamethrower is. It's a roofing torch, and even his disclaimer is this is not a flamethrower
because he doesn't want to get in
he
trouble.
Says it's
but
for
it's
killing
not.
zombies. He says it's for killing zombies. I'm gonna go with that. It's cool.
The basis of that flamethrower is.
Can I use it to kill zombies?
Yeah,
probably. Awesome.
I don't know.
I want one.
If zombies were real and they.
Yeah, in my world they could be real.
I mean, I'll
sort them out later.
We just lived through 2 years of what we thought were going to be zombies, and
I wanted a different apocalypse. Okay,
very disappointing.
I wanted a different apocalypse.
You know what we got? Home Depot being open. That's what we got.
Right.
That was.
We got masks at the grocery store.
Yeah,
that's what we got.
Right.
Yeah. So being that the end left us on a good note, what do you think Part 4 by the Wachowski sisters is going to be?
No clue.
Do we have any idea?
No clue. I have no clue, and I really don't care. I'm going to wait for it. I want to read anything. I just want to watch it. I want to have any pre-info about it.
I want to know.
I don't think there's anything out yet, right?
No,
there's all these
nothing.
Speculations and stuff like
that. We just know
that.
that it's in development.
Right. That's all I've read.
And
can't wait.
Do we know
I'm sure it's going to be a
trilogy
blockbuster, dude. It's going to bring everybody back to the movies because the movie theaters almost died.
I'm gonna propose that it will tie a little nice bow on the 3
Who
Matrix.
knows? I don't know. I feel it's going to be good.
What you're
I'm waiting for it to
saying
be
is
good.
it's going to be one movie that pretty much gives you closure for the last three.
It should.
Or is it going to be another trilogy?
I don't think it'll be. I mean, it could be, but I would propose that it's going to be the button on top.
I think these guys are. I'm sorry, I don't want to say guys. I want to be respectful.
The Wachowskis. Just refer to them.
They're super smart.
They have great talent. They are very innovative,
Groundbreaking.
and I am looking forward to
Out of
what's
the
going to
box.
happen.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we don't have any spoilers. Or
I don't know.
any-
I just have this feeling that for them to try to pull 3 more out of another would almost be.
If you do it right,
If you do it right,
Do it right.
and they could probably do it right because they're spectacular
But think
at what
about it.
they do. But it's almost like it would be just overkill.
Overkill?
Yeah.
How many years has it
but
been
that's
since the last
It's
movie?
been almost.
I don't know. How long has it been?
That was in 99 or 98.
So they've had this whole time with all these theories. They think about all the fans and all the theories and all the what ifs the fourth one could be.
Has that affected?
It has to. It has to.
Yeah.
There's so much material to pull from for the Matrix. As people ran rampant with that thing, making their own stories about it and stuff like that.
When did it come out?
2003 Revolutions.
But the original work came out.
Yeah,
in
99.
Yeah.
99.
But I mean, there's so much since the last movie ended,
2003,
and
yeah,
so many
we're
people have
talking-
complained
If
they should have done this. So now that, like what you said, they're gonna wrap it up real nice because they've heard all these complaints over all the years. They've heard all the positivity. They heard all these creative fans, creating new stuff. So there's a wealth of information for them to choose from.
You have a bunch of people dressing like Neo
Oh, all kind
for
of
a
stuff.
long time.
Although I might also propose that as opposed to allowing all of those people's opinions and what's going on with the series affecting them, on the flip side, it may just be their opportunity to say, no, that's
Absolutely,
not where,
because it's
not
them.
where we were
It's the
going
Wachowskis.
with
That's
it.
what they do.
This
That's
is
what
what
they
it
do.
was.
That's
This
what
is
they
where it's
do,
going.
man.
Yeah.
For
I look forward to it.
I just
sure.
can't wait to
Forward to
watch it.
And I think, it leaving on that note of love, if we were to apply that to our governments and to what we're doing today,
Right.
to
To
the
the
things that are
world.
happening right now, if we were to do stuff with love, if our government were
Yeah.
to take love and apply that into how
Yeah.
we treat
Mm-hmm.
other countries,
never do
other
that.
people, we would be so much better off.
It'd be
as a
amazing.
world.
Agreed.
Not just a nation, as a world.
As human beings, if we looked at each other like ourselves and treated each other like ourselves, we probably would be a lot further along than what we are now, unfortunately.
And I think the message within the magic community is, from what I've seen, is always that regardless of what you're practicing, regardless of what you're doing, when you're working on self-improvement, when you're working your magic, when it's from a place of love, the ultimate, it will benefit you and it will benefit mankind.
Sure. Absolutely.
So we have one more question. Can you escape the matrix physically? I believe
Yes.
you do when you die.
Die.
It's also,
where I go.
if you guys want to do a trial, it's called ayahuasca. I would recommend going doing some ayahuasca.
Yeah, that'll get you out of here.
That'll get you out of here real quick because things look very different after you've encountered some ayahuasca.
You want to take that one on, Jay?
Let's see. Alchemist 303, Esoterically, the Matrix movies. Also go into some serious Zodiac references. The twins for the second movie, as well as Neo being the Christ. Christ is related to the movements of the constellations as Leo, line of Judah. Dude, I could do a whole show on that and break it down. Line of Judah. You got Naphtali and all the different tribes and stuff like that. If you do the 12 tribes of Israel, going with the 12 zodiac signs,
Yeah.
it's too much.
Yeah, I think
passes in the first deacon of Virgo. You can go on like forever. Yeah, you're correct. Absolutely. Yeah, being the one beyond the veil brings great. Being one beyond the veil. Absolutely. You need
Virgin, Virgo, the mother. Yeah.
Yeah, you need to go beyond the veil too, for sure.
Also, in escaping the matrix, people who have near-death experiences, sometimes they come back.
And they're just a whole other person,
They're a
right?
whole different person. They're a higher level of consciousness. they respect life a lot more.
Well, it sets a fire underneath their rear
Well, and
derriere.
the thing is that if you want to talk about, you mentioned ayahuasca being DMT, and DMT supposedly being released at birth and at death and in traumatic experiences. We've had the conversations about psychedelics before, and it
ritual.
It definitely creates a sense of empathy and love within you, and
Absolutely.
I think that's what that death experience is. I mean, if it is a release of DMT, I mean, you have that connection to love, you have that connection to empathy, and like you said, Mike, if the world ruled by that, if the world ruled by empathy and love, we definitely would be a better place.
Definitely.
I just want to comment on, says, do you know a shaman, about the whole ayahuasca? I loved ayahuasca. My whole journey was great. Please only do the ayahuasca underneath trained shamans with ritual. Do not sit in somebody's backyard. It doesn't work like that, man. You'll just be in somebody's backyard.
It's a total
Melt it out of your brain.
It's a total experience.
You need the experience of the ritual. The ritual will push and pull you through your journey.
Agreed.
And you have specific, talented people who are there watching you, making sure you are okay, and pushing and pulling you
and guiding you through the journey.
It's guiding you through the
music
journey.
and the
everything, the instruments,
shaman,
everything.
Safety
Do I know
first.
shamans? Yes, I know shamans. Yes. For this Keepers of the Word, for you guys, I put myself through all kind of crazy stuff to learn all kind of stuff and have crazy experiences to feed you guys. So yes, I know quite a few shamans.
Okay. Do you have anything more to add? Do we have any more questions? Somebody
Anything
says,
back?
I don't see a chat. I'm looking right at it.
We're looking at you.
Thank you, Alchemist 303.
We
really
appreciate you.
Big up,
Thanks.
Kern River.
Yeah, all that interaction that you had with us, we dig it. Thank you for sure.
Great content contribution. I appreciate it very much.
Yep.
And
Anything back there in the studio? We got anything else?
guys, I got anything back there you guys want to talk about? I'm gonna go with no.
All right.
Let's go with no.
I think they went.
Do we have shout outs? Are we gonna do closing?
Anyone say anything?
Shout it out.
Oh, we're listening here. I don't know. The mandible is moving the skull. Oh yes, Bob.
Oh, Bob.
Bob's mandible does move.
Bob moves.
He does speak.
He talks on his own.
He
We don't know
does-
what the
he
hell
does
he's
it
saying,
quite a
but
bit.
Bob does what he does.
He's been with us for a very long time, and he does like to chat randomly.
Thanks, Matt. We appreciate you. First time viewing us. Awesome. Please subscribe.
out.
Keep on watching us. This is all the kind of stuff we love doing.
Yes.
We've been doing this for a couple of years now. I mean, the Twitch is new for us. We've got like Mike said earlier, and he posted up. We've got the YouTube channel we had to rebuild because we had some issues with the other one. So please, you guys, go and subscribe. Rewatch those videos, re-like those videos. If you watched them before and you liked them before, please do it again. It would help us out so much, and we'd greatly appreciate it. We love our community. We love our family. We know you guys are here with us and for us, so we appreciate all
I'm going
of
to
you.
take one last question before we start closing.
All right, go for it.
So T-San says, do you guys think Neo is Lucifer-like? I don't think so.
Well, I would propose the whole duality thing. Is Lucifer Christ? Is Christ Lucifer? What is that? It's the black, the white, the good, the bad, the duality, the positive, the negative. I think they're the aspects of what keeps everything moving.
The characteristics
and
are
I don't
there.
think
Yeah.
In
Neo
my
is.
opinion, I say no. In my opinion, but in your, everybody has their own.
Everybody has
right?
their own opinion. Yeah. I don't think he was, Lucifer. No, he
I
is
don't-
the
he s-
Messiah.
he said
He's the
Lucifer
Messiah.
like. So
well,
and
if
I wasn't.
Yeah,
saying my
Lucifer
opinion
and
was
the
that.
Messiah have very similar attributes. If you like it or not, it's
Groovy.
there.
Cool.
Cool. So I think right now we're at that part where we're
Yeah.
going to close it out.
need
Do you
to
guys
wrap
have
it
any
up.
shout outs? You want to talk about anybody cool that
Really quick though.
Yeah.
Let's let them know that in the very near future, you guys will actually be able to call in. You don't have to just, participate in the chat room. You can literally call in with your phone. And,
Yes.
And we can hear your voice live on the air. That will be coming within the next couple of shows.
Awesome, and you'll probably see some guests on the call-ins and in the video, including myself. I'm going to be on video at certain point when I move. So we're going to get this all worked out, and we appreciate our production crew who's working hard to make all of that stuff happen. So you'll be able to call in. You'll be able to. We'll be able to have some video guests, and
we're going to reach out to some other people to get some Zoom guests going, and
Yeah,
we have a lot
cool.
of interesting and exciting things lined up for you guys. So we want to just make sure to please get onto all of our social media.
For sure.
Interact, please comment. We're really trying to build this community. We want this to be a community. We all want to, I want to know somebody by their name, their handle,
Correct.
and I
Correct.
know who this person is.
Yes.
That's our whole
build this
concept, man.
relationship. So that's what this is really all about.
What we're trying to do
please
here.
Interact with us. Follow us on all of our outlets.
Hey, Brian, I would say continue building our community. We definitely have been building this community for a couple of years
At
now,
least
and this
2 years.
is just
This
is a new platform, and we've redone some stuff. So yes, you're right. Please continue help us building the community that we already have. Are we going to tease what we have coming up next year? Have we decided
we
to
have
mention
all
that?
kind of things coming up.
Let's hold off on
which we will
We're gonna
let
hold
you
off?
guys
All right,
know
all right.
in the
We
future.
we got some stuff coming up, so stay tuned and pay attention and keep jumping on these Twitch lives, and
I
you'll
got
get
some
to hear
shout-outs
what's
too.
going on.
Go
Go
for it.
for it.
So I want to give shout outs. Basically, I also want to tell you guys, if you guys are going to shop or do anything for you being a practitioner, please shop local. Please shop mom and pop. I'm going to give shout outs to the LA Basin. We got Green Man with Griffin. We got A Crooked Path with Salvatore. We have Points of Light with Rhapsody. We have Pan's Apotheca with Vicky. Thank you guys for allowing me to come there and chew your ear off and talk with you guys and do the things that we do. Thank you guys. Just want to say what's up to everybody out there. Also, Phrase Hermetic Supplies, Bodie Studios, everybody out there that supports us. Thank you.
All the brothers from all the lodges.
All the brothers, all the lodges.
For sure. I definitely want to say shout outs to those guys, to the NoHo guys, to the South Pass guys, to, all of our brothers that help us out, that are supporters. Robert Mascara, I'm going to shout out to you, because you, brother, time and time again, you always support everything we do, and I'm going to be calling on you soon. I'm going to need some volunteer work for that thing that we haven't talked about yet, that we're going to talk about. But I'm going to call out to you. So that's my personal shout outs to Robert Mascara.
Cool.
So for me, I don't really have a shout out. I just have a statement. We're Freemasons, and we come here to share knowledge and stay within our due bounds. Our opinions are ours. They do not reflect any Grand Lodge or any lodge in general. They are ours. And we have our own lodge that we have here in Long Beach, which is Hermes Lodge.
Yep.
And if you have any questions on anything that we're doing or anything like that, you're more than welcome to hit me up.
Hit all of us up.
Yeah, we'll get started on some conversation.
We're on Facebook,
and
Instagram.
it is
all
an
that good stuff.
officially dispensated lodge.
We're an
for
official lodge,
Anybody
correct.
that might be concerned about whether or not
Under
we're official.
dispensation.
We got
Under
Brea
Grand
over
Lodge
here.
of California.
Yep. And with that, Mike, I'm also going to shout out to the fact that Hermes Lodge is here at Long Beach Scottish Rite, and we couldn't be doing this in this awesome studio without Long Beach Scottish Rite and everything that they help provide us with. So thank you, Long Beach.
So you know what? I do
Scottish
have a
Rite.
shout out. I do have a shout out to Masons of California for always sharing
Awesome.
our stuff,
Always.
and always liking our stuff. And I thank you guys very much for supporting what
I get
we
the
do.
emails.
And we appreciate you. Thank
For
you very
sure.
much.
Thanks, guys.
And that's it. Let's wrap
right.
it up. Thank you
Wrap
again.
it.
Thank you,
We're gonna
guys.
see you guys next Thursday.
We'll be
same
here.
time, same channel. Like, subscribe, share. Thank you very much.
Thank
See
you.
you next time.
Thanks everybody for kicking it.